Hey up everybody and welcome back. Alright, so still no rock shocks. I seem to remember Gary telling me it would be 2 months when I ordered them, so that's probably alright. It struck me, I don't think I mentioned why we hadn't finished the engine. Because you'll be thinking, wait a minute, you got the piston ages ago. Yes, I did. And took it to steam shops, and I'd mentioned my bad luck in the past. Steam shop must have done hundreds, if not thousands, of rebores and on the machine he uses. And would you believe it, while he was doing mine, the barrel shifted slightly. So it scored one side. And we were boring it for a plus 40. So with some very careful work, he managed to get it back to being round the way it should be and ready for a plus 60. And I bought the plus 40 here in the States from an agent. I think I mentioned it. And it was a cast piston. And Villiers also do a, what's the word? Boom, boom, boom. When they're done like that, a forged piston, which they say is a much better piston. So I got in touch with them to get a plus 61, and they had every size except plus 60. And now I phoned them the other day, the people that make the pistons are like 3 weeks behind with their delivery. So what was that? Something made a strange noise. So that's that. So it cost me a piston, but to be honest, and I know Steam Shop's watching, he never charges me, so I got far more credit built up than the price of a piston with him. So that's what we're waiting on for the engine. Now then, I think I thought of a way of saving the silencer, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that, and then once we've got the silencer in, pardon me, we'll put the back mudguard back in, we'll put the rear wheel in, we'll put the chain on, we'll put the brake rod and everything on, and then at least we'll have a rolling chassis so I can move it around. And as soon as the piston comes, then we'll do that. Oh, I'll probably, whether I'll get round to it all this week, I don't know, take the side off this gearbox and get the gear change mechanism lined up so we get all the gears, because I can't really test it until I've got the wheel in and I can rock it backwards and forwards. Okay. I had one comment, I need to polish it out, about the fact that I hadn't put the little union jack up here. I think, did I mention it, or was I just talking to somebody? I don't like it. I think it looks really tacky, to be honest. It's just, you know, I don't know, when you put a Made in England one sticker on the frames like they do with the BSAs and Triumphs, that's quite nice. But that, I don't know, I don't like it, so that's why I didn't do it. I think that looks fine. Okay, anything else? You may get some background noise during the week because I'm going to have to put the AC on. It's nice and cool this morning, first thing. It's always cool in the workshop. In fact, I got water running down the window on the outside from the condensation. But we're under a heat dome for about 4 days. It's going to be way up into the 90s with a heat index of 100 and something. So it'll be nice in here. Oh, did you hear that? That was thunder. Thought the clouds looked like we were going to get a thunderstorm. Anyway, let me take you over and show you what I'm thinking about with the silencer. Alright, so I did have one, maybe more than one comment. Hang on, that was to go. Asking if I could turn this round somehow, but because the hole's offset and everything, it won't work. But I was looking at it and I thought I only need about an inch to fit up into there to make it good, and you know, it can't just go up a little bit. It's got to go up enough to be rigid when that's pushed in and it's pop riveted. But I thought, wait a minute, let me draw some parallel lines here. As I say, that's where I should have gone down. So if I take a line there, which matches that, Blue More Thunder, and I come down, I can take off an inch. That will be just perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, make sure that this fits on. Oh, I'm going to get bloody drenched. I didn't bring a coat with me, or the umbrella. Bugger. Well, it might pass by lunchtime. I'm waffling. Anyway, if I cut that strip out of there, you know, complete, and then weld it on there, then that'll be enough to fit up into there, make a good joint, and put some pop rivets in. Couple there, couple on the back, one at each end probably. So let's get this to fit, and then we'll cut that off, and then we'll weld it on and weld the bottom in and go from there. Now it's coming along. I've worked on this end. We're slowly getting it to be the exact right shape to go on there. I cut this piece off because it was easier to work on there. Welded that there. So you see the plan is that now goes in there like that. I've got a little bit of finagling to do, you see, as it needs to go round a bit more. But that's the plan. So that's going to go in there like that. And then we can pop rivet it there. So as I say, I've got to work on this a little bit more. Then we'll tape it in, offer it up to the pipe and get that right. Very good. Okay. Welded this up all the way around. I actually had to cut a little bit and reform this, because what was happening was, as I was pushing it in, it was sort of just making it go like that. But now, when I was pushing it in before, it was touching there and there was a gap back here, because as it went round it wasn't. Right, so that goes in there perfectly. It's starting to look like it goes on there pretty good. I've got to grind a little bit out of there. This is a long, slow process, because you see, I'm just going to grind a little bit out on that corner there. I'm going to put it together, try it, and so on. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Tell you what, sheet metal work is not for the impatient, which is probably why I have problems with it. Okay, let me try this. Well, sometime later. Surprising how slow this is. Okay, so I've got that all made up so that it touches most of the way. I don't know what's in shot. Look, it's touching all the way around there. Basically, that I can tap out from the inside slightly, so I can weld all that. Then I can tap that round, weld it, and then put a bottom on. And this should, more or less, see, this is the other thing when you make things in pieces. You finally put them all together and you find you can't get the damn things on. Might have to put this on with the exhaust. I mean, I can do that now, but obviously I can't do that when it's all welded together. Oh. It's sticking up. I could have sworn I had that. So it was angled in. I mean, that is very much how the standard one would have been. God, when I was offering that up, that's too close at the top. I don't believe this. If I cut that there, I can angle that down a little bit. Let me put a slice into that and then tack it again. Let me go and do that. So we'll try again. This is so annoying. I have to keep taking the exhaust off every time I try this. Alright, that's not touching anything. That's on there tight. That's turning the top away too much. That's really strange. Thought I had that kink nicely to go that way. As I say, the standard one sticks right out here. I've moved it in there, but not there so much. Now let me screw this up tight. Alright, I think that's going to be it. Let me weld this up completely. Now, what happens if we move this? Don't forget, this is at an angle. That's not bad. It only sticks out maybe a ½ an inch right there. And actually your legs are going to be up here. We're going to weld that up. Right, well, that's been a lot of fiddling about today, so we're going to knock off. There we are, finished. Bottom on, all that welded in. Ow. Well, it doesn't look too shabby. I suppose I could grind this weld here to make it look better. So what we're going to do next is make the core. No, we'll tape that up tight so that I know what it's going to be, and we'll make that. See, that's why I'm going to tape it up tight. We'll make the bracket to go up there. What we'll do is we'll weld it on, but we won't drill the hole. Then we'll make the core. Then we'll finish it off, pop rivet it. Then we'll have to take the exhaust off to put it on. We'll drill the hole through that, put a bolt in. And we'll know everything lines up properly. So not half bad. That was a real bugger. There was a lot of... I'm surprised I managed to get it as half decent as it is. I think I will just grind that off, make it look nicer. That weld I'm going to leave because it's sort of the nice stop. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, that's it for today. Oh, it's 4:45 anyway. So we'll finish this off tomorrow. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, I'll finish that off tomorrow. Probably take a morning to do that. Although I say that and it'll take me all day. So that being so, that gives us Thursday to do the wheel and get all that in, and probably the gearbox. So that's not so bad. I suppose I could grind that out as well and make it look nice, although they didn't bother on the Greeves one. But we aren't Greeves, are we? Right, see you tomorrow. Hello everybody. Well, I won't say good morning because it's not. I was concentrating so much on clearances for the tyre and what have you that I didn't realise why Greeves put the silencer where they did. Hold on, I'm going to swivel you. They put it there to clear the chain. Look at that, chain's going to come up, smack straight into that silencer. That's why it's further out at the bottom. Well, is that a bugger or is that a bugger? I just thought this morning, oh, I'd better put the wheel in to check that the top of the silencer clears that. And it does, but... So, what to do, what to do? Well, I suppose the way it is... hang on, let me move you. I'm thinking that... we'll cut the pipe again and make it straight. Move this out. We'll still be fine at the top, I think. We'll still have clearance for the outlet pipes. Bugger. You know, I had a comment that said, oh, I would have just cleaned up the old silencer and used that. Yeah, that's what I should have done, shouldn't I? God. I think if I do that, cut this, weld it up to straighten it, that'll kick this out enough. We'll still be alright at the top. I don't think it'll move anything towards the tyre. It's almost, hang on, can you see everything here? Almost. I think it'll sort of pivot on that point, if you like, so it'll kick the bottom out, because we obviously only need, right back here, there isn't that much rear suspension movement. I don't know, 3 or 4 inches at that end probably. So right back here, that isn't going to move that much. In fact, what I should do is take those shocks off, because I've got it on the centre stand, and see how much movement there is. Let me do that. Right, so the suspension unit's 12 inches long. So right now, you aren't going to be able to see this, but I'm just measuring here. We're at 11 3/4. Let's start to lower this back end. That, hang on, I might get my head in the way here. Oh God, it is so close. I mean, that close is too close, but yeah, we're going to be able to move that. And what are we at with the suspension unit? We're now at just under 10 inches. So it's moved down 2. I mean, the original suspension units only had, God, 2 5/8. So another ½ inch, another inch at the most. Alright, let me take this exhaust pipe off. Does that exhaust pipe move? See, that's the thing as well. As I mentioned, the flange on the exhaust pipe isn't a loose collar. It's actually welded to the pipe. So you can't swivel the pipe any. You bugger. Alright, let me see if I can rectify that. You know, I think there's a conspiracy to make me waste money, which I don't like doing. I thought I should put a chain on here really, because the chain is a bit wider than this piece of channel that I have on. So, got a chain out, which I just bought, which is a 520, and that annoyed me enough because when I came home I checked and I had a brand new 520. This is 428. So anyway, I've done a little bit to the exhaust to move it out. As you're looking now, we're set at 12 inches for the suspension unit, alright? And that's it with these. Actually, there's only 2.5 inches of travel. So let's see what happens when we start to do that. That's 11 inches. That's 10 inches. There's 2.5. There's 3 inches of travel, which it won't do anyway. Maybe the rock shocks will give it a bit more. How are we looking? Oh yes, I think there's plenty of space there plenty of space. Let's see, that thing is 3/8 of an inch wide, and a 4/28 chain. And a 4/28 chain is 5/8 wide, where the widest point to the outside of the rivets. So that means we need, hang on, let me get a different ruler. We'll need at least 1/8 of space. I mean, it's a 1/4 inch. Yeah, we've got a good 1/4 inch there. So that will do. We're still well clear of the tyre. Let me open you out. Are you ready? So as you can still, I can actually get my fingers in there. Got plenty of room at the top. Now we've got plenty of space there. I've actually got the silencer taped up, so that's where it should be. Nothing is touching anywhere. Let me make up a little piece of alloy to make this thing here. Alright. Right, so I've made my bracket and welded it on, but as I say, I haven't drilled it yet. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the thing that goes inside there, that oh Michael, you're getting old, the packing goes around. I know what I want to say, okay, so we need to know how big it is. Now we don't make it this shape, we've got to make it a complete piece this way and then cut the ends off, right? Because if we try to mark it out like that, when it wraps around it won't work. So we need to know the length from here to there. So it is, in actual fact, 12 inches, right? So let's cut that 12 inches plus the size we want to wrap around there, which I'll show you in a moment. Right, then there's the mesh we're going to use, and it just so happens it's 12 inches wide. So the next thing we want to know is how long it is to go all the way around there. So, what is it? This is 1 1/4, and it's just a nice fit, right? So we're going to make this, we're going to form it round this 1 1/4. So hang about. What's this? It's 1 3/4, isn't it? Actually, it's almost, yeah, it's 1 3/4. So if that's 1 1/4, it's going to be 1/4 inch off each wall. And this is, where are we? Goes to there. 7 to 2.5. So that's 4.5 inches. Right, so that's 4.5 inches from there to there. We're going to be 1/4 inch off each end. So it's going to be 4 inches there to there, right? So from there to there is 2 inches. So it's going to be the circumference of this, because we've got half the circumference at each end, plus 2 inches there, 2 inches at the bottom. That's 4 inches. So let me work that out, and we'll cut it a bit big and see about forming it. And then when it's formed, we'll cut it at an angle, and what we'll also do is out of this end we'll cut a piece like that, so it'll go all the way up into that end, and the same at this end. We'll cut a piece out to go around the where the exhaust pipe comes in, and then we'll make it so it's a nice tight fit from end to end and inside. We'll push it into the bottom half and slide that on so it fills the entire thing up. We'll drill it and pop rivet it. Alright, let's see how this bends. Of course, I didn't have a longer piece of 1.25 inches. At least I don't think so. Let me have a look. Alright, I did have a longer piece, and I just started to bend it, and I thought, this doesn't look right, and I've done it wrong again. So, when I said 4 inches, I should have added 2 4 inches, not halved it. So this is 1.25 inch. Come on. So it's 1.25 diameter. 1.25 times pi 3.142 equals 4 inches, right? So we've got half a diameter at each end, so it's 4 inches to go round those two ends. Then it's 4 inches across there on two sides, 8, so it's 12 inches. No wonder it looks wrong. Right, that's why I always have to buy more than I need, because I'm forever making a mess of it. So it wants to be 12 inches cut in. Alright, now I think I'm right. Now you know why I never do any carpentry. Measure twice, cut once. Every piece of wood I ever cut is still always the wrong size. Okay. I put some gloves on this time because of the ends. Right, so the next thing we want is to be 4 inches up from there. That looks more like it. Right, so let me mark it, move it down and bend it again. Well, from about the centre there to the centre there, it's 4 inches. I mean, this doesn't have to be exact. There's a certain amount of wiggle room in there, so let's see what happens now. See, I should have just cut all that other video out, shouldn't I? And then you wouldn't think I was a prat. Whoa, look at that. Hey, man. That's not too bad at all. Right, I think that I clamp that there like that and start tacking that. Tackety tack tack tack. Still wrong, aren't I? It wants to be 4 inches from there to there. Yeah, of course it does. Hold on again. Fingers crossed. I think that's right. It seems to be 4 inches from there, on the outsides. So 1/4 inch, that's the 4.5 inches. But this is wide. 4.5, yeah. Okay. And it's 12 inches long, and it's, let's squash down. It's actually nearly 1.5 inches, but it'll all squish up right, I'm sure. I have every confidence in my work. So let me do a few little tacks to hold it, and then we'll try it inside the silencer. Right, so there it is with the ends tacked. That should just, there we go. Now with the wrapping on there, that'll go in there nice and tight. So the next thing we need to do, just make sure you're in view, is we've got to cut a slot in it. Well actually, no, the next thing we've got to do is mark it and cut it like that, isn't it? So what I'm going to have to do is mark it and then tack it in the lattice there. Then we can cut the ends off. Alright, yeah, that's going to work. Alright, let me do that. This silencer is going to be the death of me. I cut my piece out. I forgot that it's not that long. It's that long. Oh man. I should have thought of it when I was measuring this. It's from here to there, not from there to there. What a moron! What an absolute moron you are. Oh, for God's sake, Michael. Alright, obviously time to knock off today. I can't get another piece of this till Friday. I'm not going all the way into Ithaca tomorrow just to get a piece of this. Ah, for God's sake. Alright people, let's knock off for the day. Right, so it's Thursday. And I was up about 5:15 this morning because I had to take Linda to the airport because she's off to the Episcopal General Convention, which they hold every 4 years. So she's generally a delegate, but this year it's just, she was national chair of the Episcopal Peace Federation, so she's going with them. Anyway, the thing is, because I was up so early and I got back to the house just after 7, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll run along and get some more of this stuff, because there's two of the big hardware places, Lowe's, both sort of equidistant. They're both about 20 miles away. So I went to the other one, and bugger me, they didn't have any of this. So I came home and I thought to myself, you know, it's only a little end bit that's missing, so I've extended it with, I had just enough left to extend it. So now we're going to wrap it in this, and then we're going to put it, excuse me, see now look, that'll go, cut away to go around the tube, that goes in there like that, or it did a minute ago, there it is. God, I just had this bloody thing together. There we go. See? So I'll wrap that on and then jam that in there. And while I was out, I got some pop rivets. Now I'm damned if I can find my pop rivet gun. So anyway, let me wrap this up and we'll get that in there. So they're just stuffed in the bottom, and now all I've got to do is shove that up into there. So I'm going to put some gloves on so I don't get all the little fibres stuck in my fingers. So let me do that. So before I just push it that last little bit on, I've put some high temp silicone to sort of completely seal it up. So let me finish doing this. Then we're going to drill it for the pop rivets, but I can't find my pop rivet gun. I can pop over the road if George is there and borrow his. And there we have it. After an extremely long search for my rivet gun, and it was right in front of me now, of course. So that's pop riveted both sides, really nice and tight. So I'm going to put it on now. I'm not going to do this hole until the engine's finished. And I know everything is tightened down, the head and everything like that. So I don't want to have anything move, you know, because this end is a long way away on the engine. If this end moves a fraction of an inch, that end is going to move quite a lot. So maybe grind a little bit of that off and then I'll put the exhaust on. So there it is on, and actually the mudguard went on without any modifications. It misses everywhere. We're still alright. Loads of room for the tyre, loads of room for the chain, and the upholsterer called, the saddles are done. So we'll be alright for that. This will actually move out a fraction because it's up against this, but this is 2 inches here. And the RockShox are only 1.5 inches there. So that's all very good. So if I can get out on Saturday, I will. Certainly put the saddle on so you can see what it looks like with the saddle. But I have a trial on Sunday, which is why you got this video Saturday night. Don't know what it's going to be like, to be honest. It's supposed to be hot, supposed to be thunder showers. I don't ride in the rain, I hate riding in the rain. So who knows. Luckily it's actually in Richford. It's about a 30-minute walk. It's sort of on the other side of the village. Okay, that's it for today. Right, well, so I got the saddle. He did a beautiful job as usual. I did 2 of them actually, hang on. Did the other one as well. So that's on, and I got a chain, put it on, and it isn't long enough. And actually I just measured from sort of clutch centre line to here, and on this it is, see, the engine's a long way forward from the swinging arm, so a la Enfield. It's 23 inches, and I measured the other bikes like the BSA and the modernised Enfield, and that's 21. So anyway, I phoned Mike, he's seen if he can get me a longer chain. So that's in abeyance. But anyway, that goes on, nicely fits in. That's all on. As I say, we still have to drill the hole when we know exactly where this is going to be, when it's all tightened up and set. But that didn't come out too badly. A couple of false starts. I've noticed I've got about 1/8 of an inch of weld I haven't done there. But this has all got to come off when we do the top of the engine. Right, so that's it for this week. I've got to get stuck in and get stuff ready for the trial tomorrow. And it's going to be nearly 90. So we start at 11. I'll maybe only ride one loop before it gets really too hot. Oh, lorry. Not too bad, lorry. So we'll see. Anyway, I was just talking to my friend Mike about getting a longer chain, and I said to him, you know, when I worked in the Middle East, it was all summer, it was 100 degrees. In fact, in Kuwait it would be a lot more than that, and I'd be climbing great big shore tanks, lugging gallons of samples around, wandering around on ships' tanks, climbing in and out of ships' tanks. Never bothered me, but it shows you what nearly 40 years, well, say 30 for when I was last doing shipping. So I guess I'm just getting old. Anyway, as I say, that's it for this week. Probably won't be able to do, I mean, the most I can do is put chain on, which will only take me a minute. So I think what we're going to do next week is we'll move on to the next one, and I'll strip the B40. We'll strip the B40 engine first, so that we can find exactly what we need for it. Okay, and then we're going to set to and do the chassis. What I'm going to do with that is build a complete rolling chassis. I'm not going to use the Greeves wheels, as we know that. I might play around with the forks to see what's what, but I think I'm going to put a pair of telescopics in. I've got some out there in the shed, and when we've got that all set up, then we'll work out where we're going to put the engine. So anyway, I've got stuff to do, so I will let you go, and I'll see you next week. All right, so until then, stay safe and enjoy yourselves.